My brother and I have been able to make so much money wholesaling that it literally feels illegal. My name's Davis, and today I'm going to break down the 4 steps that have helped us crush 6-figure months consistently so you can use them to start closing deals with no cash, no credit, no experience, and most importantly, no risk to you. So, just so that you guys know that I know what I'm talking about, I took a screenshot here directly from our CRM today as of April 30th. We've got over $1 million in the pipeline, and we've closed out multiple fees this month. In fact, here is a couple from just the last 7 days, totaling over $40,000. So, safe to say that I do know what I'm talking about. So, definitely pay attention if this is something that you're struggling with. I want to start with what most people think wholesaling is, right? Most people think that you need 10 years of real estate experience, a license, tens of thousands of dollars, buying a bunch of properties yourself, taking on all of this risk. But what the reality of it is really all we're doing is finding people who need to sell, getting properties under contract, selling that contract to an investor, never having to purchase the property yourself, and having no risk with the right contracts if the property doesn't sell to another investor. So to make it really simple for you guys, I have a little diagram here, right? So really what we're doing is we're reaching out to people, right, that have the original property that we're looking to purchase. So we, as the wholesalers, get that property under contract, and we sell that contract to an investor who is then ultimately going to renovate the property and sell it, right? So in this example, let's say we locked up this property under contract at $200,000. We'd then take that contract and sell it to an investor for $220,000, resulting in us making a $20,000 assignment fee. And just to kind of give you guys a quick brief story of like our first big closing, right? So the first like real big closing we had was a few years ago. It was actually over the holidays, Christmas time. And it was a $43,000 check. So it's got the wire here from Chase, $43,370 actually. And it took us about 15 hours of work. So you can see this little stick figure here showing the emotions we had to been feeling at the time. And this was like the first big win, right? This was like the first big check, not $10,000, $15,000, but really like putting a huge increase in the business account. So incredibly exciting, obviously, when that happens. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how we were able to close that $43,000 deal, and how you can do the same thing starting with little to no money. And it all starts with consistent leads. So, your business really needs high quality leads every single day. That's going to be one of the most important things that allows you to build consistency in your business. If you don't have people to talk to, you don't have a business essentially. So you can see here, this is for one of the months for some of our campaigns. We were spending $29 on each lead. Cost us about $11,000 for the month. It was 375 leads total, which is fantastic. But again, like you don't have to be spending this amount of money at all. One of the most cost-effective ways to be getting leads consistently in your business is utilizing something like Batch Dialer, Mojo Dialer. They're typically like $99 a month. You can get a list of, highly motivated potential leads for, I think, probably a couple $100, and you get 10,000 records. Through that, you absolutely should be able to find multiple people that are willing to sell their property. We did it quite often. We struggled for quite a while until we realized that our problem was not getting enough leads. Once we started getting consistent leads in our pipeline, we started locking up 4 to 5 contracts a month, and that was all from cold calling. So I'm not saying this as something that I read one time. This is something straight from experience and living it. Cold calling is an incredibly cost-effective way for a couple $100 a month max to be locking up properties. Now, obviously, you need to have a script that you can follow consistently that works well, as well as other systems and processes in place to make it a streamlined system. But it definitely can be done for under $300 a month without question. And obviously, once we started locking up deals consistently, 4, 5, 6 contracts a month, then we started building out systems and processes to grow our business to over 20 plus contracts a month. So I took actually another screenshot from our CRM right here. This was just from April 1st to April 20th of this month. We did 21 contracts with $537,000 in projected profits. And now at the 30th of April, filming this video, we've gotten more contracts since. So again, you don't always have to start out the gate getting 20, 30 contracts. Just cold calling 1 to 2 people in a business can easily scale to 6 figures a month. We've done it ourselves, so it's incredibly possible. Now, if you guys are looking at this thinking, I still have no idea what the heck I'm doing, we do have a one-on-one mentorship to get your first $20,000 deal in the next 90 days or less. We're working with some people that might be a good fit. So if that's interest to you, check out the link in the description. So the next thing is going to be consistent offers. Now, this is, again, one of the 4 pillars items needed to really have a consistent, sustainable business, right? Most people fail because they do not make enough offers. The winners are making offers daily, even when it's uncomfortable. So you can see here, just from the 14th to the 18th of April, our team made over 40 offers on properties to sellers that were looking to sell their properties. So again, not only do you have to be calling people consistently, you have to be making offers consistently. So we need leads consistently, offers made to those leads consistently to continue building our pipeline for that consistent business. My brother and I literally used to give out hundreds of offers per week for months, building our pipeline and refining our skills, processes, systems. Like literally we would sit in our room for 7-8 hours a day, different rooms in the house, and we would be talking on the phone, on Slack, going through hundreds of properties, making offers, sending them out to sellers, to agents that were on market. It's just kind of sometimes what you have to do. Wholesaling is a contact sport. So the more contacts you make, the more contracts you're going to get, right? So a good example actually of, a property we almost didn't make an offer on. So I called an individual and, it was a cold call, and I started off my call. He proceeded to start saying some pretty aggressive things to me, telling me to F off basically in a nice term. But I stuck to the script. I was able to turn that conversation around. I used our contract to get it locked up, and we actually ended up closing this deal for $27,000, all from a phone call that started with somebody telling me to F off and hang up the phone. So I actually posted a screenshot of it right here. So you can see it's 3143 Eleanor Terre, and that's in Atlanta, Georgia. We wholesaled this property back in July of 2023. This photo is after it's been renovated. But we had this under contract with the seller for $188,000, and we sold it to the investor for $215,000. So it was a $27,000 payday. The total transaction from the moment we called him to the day we closed took about 17 days, I think. And the total call itself lasted about 14 minutes in the beginning. So definitely worth a 14-minute uncomfortable conversation to make $27,000. So that's why I say, winners make offers daily, even when it's uncomfortable. It's incredibly true. I've lived through it. And most people that I know that are successful in this business also have done the same. So, obviously, the next thing is consistent contracts, right? So you get contracts by playing the volume game. I've kind of explained that already now a couple times. More offers equals more contracts, right? If you rely on a few offers, you're going to lose. But if you flood the field, you're going to win, right? The more offers you make, the more opportunities you give to sellers to say yes. Now, the next thing, obviously, that's incredibly important is making sure the contract you're using is the proper contract to secure the deal. So if you guys want the exact contract we use to lock up all of these deals for our multi 7-figure business 100% free, you can get it at the link in the description. So check it out. Now you can see here the amount of contracts we sent out. So for April 1st to April 20th, we've made 103 offers in that 20 days. We've sent out 36 contracts, and out of those 36, we had 21. Obviously, at the time of this video, we've got a little bit more that have come through. I think it's like closer to 23 or 24, but you get the point, right? The more consistent we start with our leads, which is pillar 1, pillar 2, which offers made, right? That increases, which ultimately increases the amount of contracts we send out, which ultimately will increase the amount of contracts we get under, or properties we get under contract. So, and again, this is all because of the scripts and contracts we use. Most of the people that are absolutely crushing it in our business that work for us, they had never been in this type of sales before. And again, with consistent, replicatable scripts and contracts, we're able to streamline and replicate our system to other people. So again, I always stress the importance, especially if you're just starting out, making sure you have a script you can follow will ultimately help you increase all of your numbers from the very beginning. It's a funnel at the top and it all comes to the bottom. So something to definitely be mindful of. Now, again, the last pillar is going to be the consistent closings, right? So closings are never about being perfect. If you're waiting for the perfect deal in wholesaling real estate, you're going to be waiting for a very long time and you're not going to be making any money. It's really about having enough deals moving at all times, solving problems fast, and protecting yourself with the right contracts, right? So you really have to have a problem-solving mindset to get these deals to the finish line. There's always something coming up. There's always a seller who is in an incredibly emotional distress situation. So you really have to also be empathetic while being able to solve these problems for individuals. But once you build the pipeline, leads, offers, contracts, closings, deals just start closing back to back. It's not luck. It is 100% momentum that you put into the business, right? That's why we always say wholesaling is a contact sport. The more contacts you make, the more contracts you're going to close. So, take away the top 3 tools really that make this possible to replicate this system to somebody that's never done a deal before, that has come into our team brand new, is our scripts, our contracts, and our pipeline process. And those 3 things is definitely something, the main thing, how we take somebody on our team with 0 experience to locking up 10 plus contracts every single month. So, if you made it this far, obviously you're probably pretty serious about wholesaling real estate, which is fantastic. Subscribe to the channel if you want real strategies, real deals, and learn how you can copy our exact same systems. I'm going to be putting out a lot of information over the next few months with a lot of videos, and I'm super excited for you guys to be able to watch that. So, and if you want us to help you personally, lock up your first $20,000 wholesale deal in the next 90 days, again, check the link in the bio. We are working with people specifically one-on-one if you'd be a good fit. So appreciate you guys watching. Subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks.